Hello YouTube, this is Froogle. It is Christmas Eve 2015. I have to put a disclaimer out before the video you're about to watch. The video you're about to watch is me and a friend working through the RotateSim MD-80 in X-Plane, an aircraft that I was immensely looking forward to. And there are various periods in this video that are quite uncomfortable. It's he and I really struggling to make things work. Now the reason that's a problem is my friend is a very well qualified MD-80 captain. He has about 8,000 hours in the MD-80, about 11 or 12,000 hours as a captain total, so he is hugely qualified to look at this aircraft, and we struggled and struggled and struggled in various places. The reason for that is actually a problem that is endemic to the X-Plane 10 community. And that is more and more developers releasing products early, releasing products unfinished, and not telling customers that. I have no problem with a company producing an add-on and saying this is beta, this is alpha, this is early access. It's something Ego Dynamics do a lot, and I'm a big fan of Ego Dynamics. But within the X-Plane community, it happens increasingly. It is really annoying. This is a $60 aircraft, and frankly, it is not complete. I have high hopes for the aircraft in the long run. I did reach out to the developers. I sent them a bullet list of about 10 or so items that my friend and I found that need to be changed, and they did respond that they are working on fixes and changes and updates and patches and so on. But again, that's just demonstrating that this is an aircraft that at launch, as far as I personally, in my personal opinion, nobody else's opinion, I'm concerned, is not complete. It is beta. It's a $60 aircraft, and the point that there are, the fact that there are problems with it are really not called out on the store page. So watch this video at your peril. The last time I called out a similar product having problems like this in X-Plane 10, I got wailed on in the comments, so I'm just getting this disclaimer out there right now. Hello YouTube, this is Froogle, and this is the RotateSim MD-80 for X-Plane. This is actually going to be a first impressions video, but a first impressions with a difference. A couple of differences. The first difference is I have never, ever flown this aircraft at all, ever. That's how much of a first impressions this is going to be, but it doesn't matter because I have my friend Paul with me. Hello, Paul.
Hello.
And Paul has a few thousand hours flying this aircraft for real. So I'm in good hands. He's going to fly it, and he's going to talk us through it. And the reason I wanted to do this is I've been very excited about this aircraft and wanted to get this. I'm a huge fan of DC-9s, and an MD-80 is, I think it's fair to say, is a DC-9, right?
Absolutely.
It's just a DC-9 with a lot of electronics, which they didn't have back in the 60s and 70s. So, you know, for me to be a DC-9 fan, getting an MD-80 is very cool. It's in X-Plane, which is a very cool flight model. It's I think, a lot better than Prepared and FSX. This is all round very exciting, so I figured why don't we get an expert in here who can show us how it's really done. And the other reason I did that is my impressions of this initially are that this might be a study sim. Now I have read the manuals. The manuals say that it's not a study sim. They have simplified a lot of things in the interest of, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to, in the interest of gaming. You know, they simplified a lot of things. It's just you in the cockpit. You don't have a first officer or a co-pilot with you. Lives are not at stake. You're here to have fun. So they have simplified some things. But even so, there is a certain level of complexity in this, which I think we can investigate a little bit by having a resident expert sitting right next to me, which we do. Let's look around the external model. What do you think? What do you think of this so far?
The external model looks amazing. I think the wear on the rivet lines there, it looks absolutely superb, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm going to try and move the camera. Now, I always have a lot of problems with the X-Plane camera, but let's see what we can do. See what I mean? Let's get a little bit closer. Let's start at the nose. Everything looking good. Now, you mentioned here this.
Right, yeah, that's what we call the RAT probe. That stands for Ram Air Temperature.
Ram Air Temperature? I thought it was turbine.
No, well, there is that too.
Okay.
Those are this airplane doesn't have one of those, but airplanes like the 777 and so forth basically, this airplane doesn't have hydraulic controls and so forth, so it has a lot of backup. So we don't have that.
Okay.
But on
Ram Air Temperature.
Exactly. But yeah, same acronym.
What about this bent bit of metal here?
That's basically the nose gear doors. They don't actually close all the way.
Oh, okay.
When the nose gear's down. So
it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's
exactly pretty cool.
Where the real airplane is.
All right, let's see if we can gently move down the aircraft. Again, I'm very rusty with my X-Plane controls. I'm going to ram us into here. What is that?
Remember the floodlights we talked about?
Yeah.
The front floodlights. That's one of the.
That's
floodlights.
one of the front floodlights.
So when you're landing, that's really useful. It lights up a part of the runway. It makes it a lot easier.
Now the other lights on this, you say they extend from the wingtips?
That's correct. Yeah, those are
Here.
the wing landing lights. Yeah.
So they would actually drop down.
Yes.
Let's see if that works, shall we? I think we got a bit of power in here. Now the lights in here, we're going to cover this in a minute because we're going to do a separate video and slice it in here of starting this up. But the lights are kind of interesting. We're in a Boeing, they would all be up here. On the MD-80 they're here. Here's the landing lights, and then over here there's all the other lights, so the floodlights and the beacon and all that kind of stuff. So these ones come out of the wingtip, right?
No, it's on the other side there.
Oh, it's on the other side, okay.
Yeah, and they shouldn't actually work because it looks like the airplane doesn't have AC power.
Let's
so
find
they shouldn't
out.
actually work, but we'll have a go and see.
These ones?
Yep.
And I need to...
Drag them down. Yep.
There are three positions, all the way down?
There are three positions, yeah. The first position just has them come out into the airflow, and then the second position will actually have them turn on.
Alright, let's pop outside and see if that worked. You say it shouldn't have worked.
Shouldn't, no, because the airplane doesn't have AC power.
And it didn't.
Yep.
That's cool. Alright. Moving on around. Now, I've actually been next to an MD-80 and poked around inside an MD-80, and I was a little bit surprised. I think it's at the front here. There's a car battery in this. Is that right?
There's actually two of them.
There's actually
They're
two car
exactly
batteries.
But they look just like car batteries.
Your bog standard, pop down Halfords and pick up a 29-pound car battery. They're right
They
about
look like
there.
that, yeah.
I don't know if they're in the model. We won't look because it's terrifying. It really is terrifying. All right, back up here. Everything looking good?
Absolutely.
All right.
That looks very good.
Damn, it's a pretty model. It's
really
obviously the
is.
Delta one. The aircraft comes with a number of liveries. I think Allegiance in here, Delta old and newer in here. I think I remember seeing Alitalia. I might be wrong. I probably am wrong. There's the camera button. Okay. It's a beast. Hang on. I'm trying. I hate the camera. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are like screaming. Froogle, press the right button. Everything looking good here?
Absolutely. Yeah,
What about all
good.
these scrape marks?
That's how the airplane looks.
It actually has scrape marks all down the tail.
They're not really scrape marks. Basically, what fluid gets on the airplane,
Oh, okay.
various de-ice fluids and things like that. And what happens is, in those rivet depressions, we get in there, and then of course the airflow moves it back, and it's just wear pattern basically. But it looks
okay.
very realistic.
It looks realistic. Nice. Very cool. All right, let's move around a little bit more. I really dislike X-Plane's camera controls right now. What are all these?
Those are static wigs.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, make sure I'm going to count them.
I'm going to try and get you a camera position where you can count them. Hang on. Oh my God, there we go.
There's two. Oh no, they're there. No, they're all there.
They're all there? Nice.
Yeah. There's
Very
one
nice.
missing off the tail, but we'll forgive him for that.
Where is it? Hang on.
It should be right on the tip of the tail, right there. Yeah, there should be one like right there.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Terrible.
RotateSim. Come on now. Missing a static wick.
That is very picky.
All right, but overall though, this looks like a really good model, right?
I think it looks
graphically,
amazing.
at least from the modeling point of view, they've done a really good job. I gotta say, for an X-Plane model as well, I'm quite happy that this isn't shining at me. We see a lot of X-Plane models which are just, they look like kind of baked plastic. They're very shiny, and this doesn't look that way. Maybe a little bit there. But overall, it looks like an aircraft. It looks real. I like it a lot. All right, so what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna cut the video. And when we come back, I'm going to sit Paul here because, as I said, I've not really done this before. I have read the manual, but I'm not an expert. I'm going to sit Paul here, and Paul's going to talk us through a very abbreviated and quick startup of the aircraft. And we're going to, in doing that, we're going to see how accurate the systems are. And then in the third part of this video, which might even be a separate video, we're going to go flying and see how it handles. But anyway, back in a second.
It's very cold and dark.
All right, welcome back. Now, this is what I was saying. The aircraft that we were just in was reloaded, and you could hear fans and things running, and you can see some lights on. You know, down here on the engine readouts and stuff, there were numbers there when there shouldn't have been. We've reloaded it again. Now it's cold and dark. So just, you know, that's a little quirk. It's not enough to say don't buy this aircraft. So far from what we're seeing is pretty awesome, but just bear in mind there are some bugs. There are going to be some patches coming, I'm sure. Anyway, Paul, over to you, sir. Talk us through how you would normally start this up and do it.
All right. We're going to do it really fast. And, okay. Do this really fast and hopefully fairly simply.
Now, little caveat, Paul's not used to X-Planes, so we're going to have some fiddling with switches here that's going to be a little odd.
So there's our battery switch, by the way. Turn that on. So what we're the goal here is to get the APU on. That's the main thing. So we want electrical power and air. So we got the fuel. Here's the fuel pump for the APU, and then the start switch for the APU there.
I hear something. I can
There it
hear
goes.
the APU.
Yep. Yeah, we got
Is that
RPMs.
realistic? Can you hear it here in the cockpit?
Yes.
Okay.
If obviously if there's not some huge ground vehicle right next to the airplane.
There's the EGT going up.
Yeah, this is pretty unrealistic. That's a very high EGT for normally APU start.
Okay.
We would probably think about aborting it at about 40%. You shouldn't see anywhere near this kind of temperature, but
Okay.
I'm going to chalk that up to the simulator.
Yeah.
But
What would that be normally?
you know what? I don't really pay attention to it when it's starting, but let's put it this way. When it's running with the pack on for the air conditioning and electrics, you very rarely see it go over 600, and that's with a bunch of load on it. So
Wow. Okay.
that's very unusual. I'd say maybe 450, something like that on the start.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so it says we have APU power available, and this light also on the APU signifies that it's good quality power, which means that the voltage and frequencies are also within limits. So we can turn the bus switches on, which now means that the APU is powering the normal electrical buses, which also means we have AC power, which means we can turn the AC pumps on, and then we can turn the DC start pump off, because this one doesn't have thermal protection on it.
Okay.
Okay, so now we got that going. We could do pre-flight checks, but we'll just go through really quickly because it kind of gets boring. I don't want that to happen.
It's not quite
So-
fully loaded video yet.
Right, exactly. So I don't want to bore the viewers right now. So these are not in a normal position. I can
Right,
just
but
see
we
that
figured
right
out
now.
those aren't simulated. These are some of the
Right.
things that they've simplified. They're not working in this yet.
Exactly. So I'm just going to throw these switches and just get this thing ready to start the engines and so forth.
Try moving
And
up. There you go.
there we go. And that one doesn't work.
Only the left one works.
Okay, now I'll not do this again. So the generator switches are on now.
Then let's call that out because you said
Yeah.
normally in the aircraft you fly, they're normally on.
Right. We usually leave them on because there's actually a logic to these things. It's not like a Boeing airplane where you have to actually move the switches to actually engage the generator relays. There's actually a priority logic. So, and the priority goes, engine gens will take over the APU, and the APU will have priority over the external power, and the external power have priority over the cross tie. So you really can, and that's basically a very long-winded way of saying you really can leave these switches in the on
Right,
position.
so basically as you're going through the power sources, so like external power to APU to engine generators,
Right.
you're not having to switch stuff.
Exactly.
It automatically
It's automatic.
rolls over. Okay.
Exactly. So I'm just going to throw
Galley
some
power doesn't
switches.
work.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Jeez. People in the back are going to be very upset about that. All right. So we'll just put these in flight ready positions, and let's, if I can do it.
It's tricky, right?
I'm not good at this. All right.
You got it?
I think I have to come back.
There you go.
Oh, you know what? I might have to just give up on this.
No, let me try. Where do you want it? Let me try. Where do you
It
want
should
this?
go to bad amp, all the way to the right.
Let's see what we can do here. The switch is a bit clunky. There. It's just slowly to the right. We got it. You're in. Oh, that's not
Bad
bad.
volt.
Bad amp.
There
we go.
Wow, amazing.
All right.
You should fly these things.
I should, shouldn't I? I'm fully qualified.
That's great. All right. Let's see. Where were we? Okay, just going to put these in flight ready positions. This is another thing we found earlier. The fuel pumps, they should actually extinguish these enunciators,
Okay.
but they don't. So that's another glitch.
Okay.
Let's see. Turn the seatbelt sign on. Turn the emergency power. Arm the emergency power.
Lights.
Emergency lights. There we go. Turn the window heat on. And let's see if this works. I might have to have you do this.
All right. I am the
Here.
switch
Yes,
specialist.
yes,
First
you have to do
officer
that.
in charge of switches. Let's see what we can do. No. Oh god.
Oh.
Where do you want it?
All the way around. All the way. All the way down to rat.
That's as far as I can get it.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
That's actually it. Is
Oh.
that not right?
No, it should go all the way around.
Let's move
actually.
the camera here and see what we got.
Maybe that's it. Oh, there's not even writing there.
There's nothing.
There's actually in all these positions.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually should be. There's two stall probes and then the Raman temperature.
None of those are here. Okay.
Interesting.
So that's not similar.
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
Well, I mean, in the way most carriers after the there was an accident where the Spanair accident in Spain, I believe it was Spain. Basically, now most carriers actually put it in the ram air temperature position to make sure that on the ground that sensor's not receiving electrical power.
Oh.
So that here's what happened. They deferred. There was current on that sensor, so basically the airplane thought it was in the air. That the only reason there'd be current on that sensor is if you're airborne. It's supposed to be off on the ground. Well, what happened was basically the airplane thought it was in the air on the ground, so the takeoff horn didn't go off. They didn't put the flaps and slats out.
Oh.
So the takeoff warning didn't go off. Okay. Now that's a horrible description of what happened because I can't remember all the specifics. But anyway, that's why we have it in that position. So if you see a readout on that, the ground shift mechanism, the mechanism that tells the airplane whether it's on the ground, has failed. Therefore, the warnings that you would get may be disabled.
That's actually a big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. It's caused a lot of accidents.
Okay,
so,
good to know.
And then there's another check we do as well with the throttles. You've heard the takeoff, right? Yeah. Exactly. That's another check that basically does the same sort of thing.
Okay, right. Let's put the camera back and we'll continue with this start. I shifted the camera around on you.
All right.
Off you go.
Let's
Carry
see.
on.
Let's see. All right. Let's see how this is working here. All right. So let's go into make sure these switches are basically in a pre-start condition, and I'm just going to go through this really rather rapidly, and then we'll start the engines and then just use engine power for the rest of it, if that works for you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if these work. Okay, that's good. Oh, that's very nice. All right, so we got those up. Those are the pneumatic cross feeds, which basically allow the APU air now to feed the engine starters.
Right.
And we'll turn the ignition on. And let's see if we can start an engine here.
I didn't even notice there are gates. There are what do you call those guards there?
Yes, that's right.
Huh. All right. So
not yet. Hang on, I got the packs off. Oh, that's why. Helps if you turn the air on. And in the airplane, there's actually 3 positions for that switch. And on this one, there's only 2. Yeah, we still don't have anything. All right, what's going on? Stop. This is very strange. Okay, we got that. The packs are off. We got air. Yeah, we got air pressure. Let's try the other engine. Oh, there we go. The other engine's working.
Maybe there's a specific sequence in
right.
sim.
Yeah. Maybe we have to just redo it. So usually you would wait till the N2 goes to 20%, and then you'll introduce fuel into the cycle. There's 21%, so fuel comes in. Then we got a light off, which it wouldn't look anything like that. In fact, we'd abort a start at 500 degrees or 475, depending on what company you work for. And we'd already actually turned the start switch off. Something close to about 38%. And then we do an afterstart flow. But I tell you what, we'll just try to start the other engine, see how that works. Oh, hang on.
Shaky.
Yeah.
Now it's working.
Yep.
Okay, so that's interesting. So it looks like in the sim there is a preset sequence, left and right.
Well, either that, it could be that, but it also could be the fact that since we didn't have the air on, maybe we had to reset the whole start sequence to make it work again.
Oh, there you go. That
could be that.
Right.
Okay, that's 20%, so I have to be very fast with this. Oh, wow. That would be really bad.
So it's like running, we need to get out of the...
Absolutely, that's a horrendous start sequence right there. Okay, now I gotta turn this... I was very slow on that. I'm sure we'll get comments on that. Alright.
It's just tricky.
I can't do this.
You got it? There you go. It's black on black. It's hard to see some of that stuff. We need to change the
here, let me do this. Oh, gosh.
Right.
There we go. Alright, so that looks pretty good. And we turn the ignition off because that has a limit. On this system, it's 10 minutes on each one, on each position.
There
we go. geez, that's funny. All right, let's see. We got good.
What's the
pressure.
flashing light?
That is a disagree light for the slats. Basically, it's one of two things. Either basically means that the position, either they're not at the same position, i.e. the left slat is not in the same position as the right slat, or one or more slats is not in the same position as commanded by the selector.
I just
so
found out
you
what
won't
that
see
is.
that.
That's my flap lever. It's not calibrated.
Oh, okay. So it's sensing something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
There we go. I've never ever seen a blinking disagree light like that.
Okay, how do we get all these screens on? Is that the next step?
Oh yeah. Well, we can tell you what.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, no,
You
no.
go ahead and do it the way you do it.
It's all fun.
apologize.
Not at all. Oh geez, I didn't want to do that. That would be bad. Hang on.
What is that?
That is the rudder trim.
Oh, good job.
And yes, that's a real
Full
rudder
left.
trim.
Nice.
That would be horrendous on a takeoff. I can't get to that.
Let's move
Okay,
the camera.
move the camera. There we go.
There you
The
go.
solution to all life's problems. All right, there we go. There's that. So this is a sort of abbreviated after start flow. So I'll just do it very quickly. We already did the ignition, check the electrical power.
Should that light still be on?
These should be off because the priority of the electrical system is that the generator should take over from the APU. This part's correct. See how
Okay.
the APU
Zero.
load's gone to 0?
Yeah.
And these have picked up, but these lights go out.
Okay.
So, let's see here. Okay, we can turn the packs on. And then go down here. Turn all hydraulics on. And again, this is quick and dirty. We'd be doing checks as well to make sure all the different pumps will be functioning properly. And we're just going to do it quick to make sure we can get airborne quickly. So you were talking about the displays earlier. This is how you hang on. This is how you do it. Like there,
Wow.
like that.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
I didn't do it right, but here.
Try rolling the mouse wheel on that. because
Oh, okay.
Sometimes in
No.
Explain, those things are rolly wheel. Is that working?
No, I wonder why. Well, so you go down, no, sideways. You
Can I
do it.
try it?
Yeah, have a go. Let's see, maybe
Alright,
I did
so
it wrong.
We're gonna try and get that display up.
Yeah.
Whoa, this display. Now I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no rolly wheel, scroll wheel support on these knobs, which is awkward. You want it?
There
up
we go.
like
That's
that?
perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. And also the other one, the one below it too, and that'll get the.
There's one down there.
Yep.
How do you turn that on?
That one right there.
The weather.
Yeah, the big one. There it is.
Wow.
Now the reason those displays are like that is because the IRS hasn't aligned, so we have to put an FMS position in to do that.
How's this look from a realism point of view?
That looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the transparencies look good, and that's what you would see without a gyro alignment.
Nice. All right. Carry on, sir.
All right, let's see. Oops, sorry.
It's all right.
Let me- All right. See, that's why they make this a two-person airplane.
Yeah. So
It's
somebody
barely a
can use-
two-person
so somebody
airplane.
can move the mouse.
Exactly. Okay, let's see if I can do that. Oh, nope, that's not it. All right, there we go.
Oh wow.
Okay, so there's our CDU, FMC. It's got all kinds of different names. So we'll get that, iris motion. That means we move the airplane during the alignment, which
We
is a
did.
bit we didn't really know. All right, so I'm going to put a position in.
I think we're in.
Where are
Key
we?
West.
Okay, there we go.
KUIW. Yeah.
Thank you. MD-80 has no business being there.
It doesn't.
Okay, so
it's very pretty.
It is. Okay, so and then we'll go up here, and what we'll do is to go to align, and then go down here, and then there should be boxes there. Oh, that's awesome. And they're not. All right, hang on. Let's try this. Oh, center. Okay, let's try that then.
Now this is a feature of this aircraft. They say they developed a custom FMC specifically for this aircraft.
Okay,
Okay.
that's interesting because I can't seem to. Oh, there we go. RS on the line.
Do you wanna
Well,
go?
that's
Do you wanna go
yeah. Let's
ahead
have a
again?
go.
If I can remember. No, you're gonna need to look up. the
That's
mouse.
fine. All right. I might have turned it off, then turn it back on again.
I think so.
Okay.
Now it's on a line.
Okay. Now, can you get me back to that FMC view?
Yeah.
Awesome. There we go. That's much more like it. All right. So now we can just put that in the scratch pad by line selecting and then put it in
And I
there.
got to call out for the viewers. At this point, we're fighting with X-Plane's controls. There's not a problem with this aircraft or anything like that. It's just us being noobs with buttons and how they work in X-Plane. IRS not aligned.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. Let's clear all this. Let's go back up here. Oh, hang
Can we
on.
go back up?
Yes, please. Thank you. All right.
Mouse wheel.
Oh, here we go.
There.
Now, hopefully. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so we go to init ref. Hang on. Okay, let's do perf init index. Pause. All right, there's that. So we should have displays. There we go. See?
There you go. They come
Excellent. All right, then where do you want to go?
I don't know. Keywords like that. Miami.
In the
KMIA.
air. All right, let's do that. All right. I can do this so much faster in the real airplane. All right. Okay, let's just go direct then.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, not in data. So that is weird because
it's an airport.
Yeah, and it put it in the destination field, so that's very strange.
There is updatable nav data on this aircraft, but even with updatable nav data, they didn't expire Miami in the last year or so.
No. Let's try doing it this way.
That's gonna be lead. That's gonna be the
right, which you can actually do that.
You can
in the airplane, but it wouldn't look like this. This would be on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
What are we gonna do then?
All right. Well, let's do the performance initialization.
Double click on that zero fuel weight and fuel. It might automatically pick that stuff up.
Oh.
I think. Yeah, it does. Try the fuel.
That's nice.
There
Now
you
that would be really handy to have in real life.
Wouldn't
That'd be really nice. Okay, let's put 310 in.
Now the MD-80 doesn't go. Whoa, what happened?
It didn't like it. Oh, maybe because it wants the full thing. Full altitude. There we go.
Is that normal?
Well, no, it's not.
Okay.
You could do it that way in the real airplane, but actually when they teach the class on it, they say you should have to put FL 310 or the full altitude, but actually the real airplane you can just put 310 in and it'll take it. So we'll just invent some kind of wind. And yeah, just so it'll be happy. And then let's see if it does a deviation. Let's see, ISO deviation, put 0. Yeah. Although that is a very high temperature for 31.
What did you just do? What is
well, I put ISO deviation 0.
What is that?
Oh, International Standard Atmosphere.
Okay.
Basically, what happens is some committee somewhere figured out that
those guys.
Exactly those guys. There is a technical term somewhere. Anyway, so the standard atmosphere is 15 degrees Celsius at sea level.
Right.
So then you have a standard lapse rate of temperature of 2 degrees per 1,000 feet. So you do some math, which is very simple, and you say, okay, well, if it's 0, i.e. it's exactly standard, you take 15 and then minus 2 per 1,000, and you get to 31.0, and you get some number, which I'm not going to do.
Okay.
But anyway, it shouldn't be 61 degrees. That's hot on the ground. I mean, that's incredibly hot. In fact, it's so hot that we wouldn't even be able to take off.
Okay.
50 degrees would be our highest temperature we could take off. So anyway, 180 will be our transition. So that's interesting. They didn't program that into the... Oh, it doesn't like it. I did it again. All right. And that's fun. You should be able to hold that clear key down, and it clears the whole thing, but it won't. Okay, so what do we want? Transition altitude in the United States is 18,000. Okay, so we don't.
So this is your D rates. Flex.
If you had an airplane that had this capability, yes, it would be. But in this airplane, it doesn't. This page means almost nothing.
Okay.
You could put stuff in here, but it won't actually help you that much, because if you had a speed tape, you could put numbers in here and it would appear in your speed tape, but it doesn't. So some people do, some people don't, but it won't do anything. So it's really a reference if you want to use it like that.
Okay.
Departing, what are we?
27.
27. All right. So execute that. Okay. So it says we're going to MIA, but it doesn't know where MIA is. So that's delightful. All right. So we can go to the init ref. And it says pre-flight complete. There's nothing here, so technically we should be able to use the FMS. So,
right.
But it doesn't really know where it's going. So I tell you what, let's try something here. Let's put KMCO in here. Execute that, and then in the route page, which we're already in, let's go.
Oh, now you got a
yeah,
tour.
there we go. So let's go. Ooh, where do you want to go first?
I want to go to Miami.
Yeah, well, we can't go there though.
Because it doesn't.
It doesn't know it, but it knows it in the destination part.
Put it in. Kilo Mike.
All right.
Because we didn't have the 2 before.
Right. It doesn't like it.
What
It doesn't.
the hell?
Isn't that weird? But we could put it in the destination part.
Let's go to
very
KFC
strange.
then. Let's go to
All right. So how do you want to go there? Let's go to maybe Lakeland first. Okay, it's got that.
Wow.
And then
it doesn't know Miami.
it's weird. All right, let's arrival MCO.
Let's
do you
go
know when the
18 right?
Okay, 18 right. But do you know an arrival that has Lakeland in it?
No, maybe
not these.
The citrus.
Oh, okay.
No, the citrus is a Sid. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can't. I know. Let's see. The Goofy might. I can't remember.
Is it not? Well, I can find one.
Oh no, it's all good. Hang on.
Let's find one.
All right. Yeah.
All right, we're going to cut the video here. We'll be right back once we've found a Sid or a star. Sorry. All right, we're back. We found a star that we're going to use, which is the what star are we going to use?
We are going to use the Coaster.
Coaster star.
Coaster 3. Oh. Yeah, because you have to go to index. Oh, I already did that. Hey, that's weird. You should have all of them back. Transition. Okay, this is not right. You shouldn't have to do that. Because if you go back to, let's do init ref, see if it, let's just go back into the whole thing. I tell you what, let me execute this and let's try it again. Yeah, it should bring up the list of, that's very strange. So once you select it, you can't change it.
That's stupid.
That's very strange.
Now I do remember reading in the manual they had put extra buttons on here to clear out things like routes, but I'm not seeing them right now. Let's try. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That does work. So let's execute that and then go departures and arrivals. Arrivals and see if it comes back now. No, it doesn't. Let's choose everything and then see if going back in here will let us delete stuff. And so far it won't. All right, delete that.
Wow.
Is that wrong?
Wow. I would never do it that way. I've never done it that way.
Okay.
So
Coaster.
maybe it is right.
Coaster and the transition is going to be
Well, it'd be the St. Pete transition, PIE.
PIE.
Yep.
And this is all wrong, so we're going to delete the approach transition. Is not. Oh, now it took everything out. As soon as you delete one thing, it deletes everything.
Interesting.
Coaster, St. Pete. All right, which of these two? Probably Orlando.
Paola or Orlando. Approach transition. Well, it depends on. You don't have to select that now.
Okay.
Yeah, you might not know what runway or approach you're going to do. All right, so okay, we got that figured out. And then you go into the legs page and make sure all these fixes are in here. So actually, since we have this, we could bring Lakeland up here because we're not going to go to.
What did
all
you
right,
do?
I obviously didn't do what I meant to do. So let's try this.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, no, that's not how it would work normally.
You broke this.
I did. I broke it really badly. All right. So what I was trying to do is bring Lakeland up to the right, exactly, because we're not going to go over Gummy. All right. So let's see. This is very strange. Okay. Here's the other trick. We can go direct Lakeland. That should take it all out.
No.
No. Very strange. All right. All right, you have a go.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'm out.
The qualified captain
Yep.
is actually having a problem with this because that implies obviously there's some problems with this. Let's try that. Just pull Andro up. It's just building a new route. Every time I do that, do you see that? It's adding in new waypoints.
Interesting.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not actually clearing it up.
Let's get rid of that. Oh my God, we have to go through all of these. We do. We have to go through all of these.
Oh man, you have to delete every fix.
Because we clicked on
that is one way you could do it, but
stupid.
That's very time consuming.
Especially if you're flying.
Right.
Alright, so we're going to go to Lakeland and then...
no, you wouldn't do that. You have to delete those three.
Pi, Gummy, and Loud go away.
Yep.
Pi. Well, it's actually Pi, the Disco. And again, my God.
Yeah. You know you're going to get comments about how we could have just selected the Lakeland part transition and that would have made this...
You probably can, but the point is that's not how the real aircraft works.
Exactly, so we found this because of that.
I don't know what to do now.
I don't either.
I can delete Lal again. Set me. Okay, now what?
Okay, so we got...
What the
so Lakeland is here. Then we go to
Hang on.
Andro, which
Hang on.
I think we deleted that one.
There's more. What the heck?
Wow.
Okay,
Alright.
previous page. So Lakeland.
So then we go... We should have Lakeland, Andro, Set Me, Coaster.
Okay, so let's put Andro back in.
Yep.
A-N-D-R-O.
Oh, you missed the R.
R and O.
There we go.
And it's doing that whole thing again. Now we're going to delete that.
There we go. Yay.
So Lal, Andro, Set Me, Coaster.
Yep.
Then what?
Ooh, let's see here.
Bigger?
And then we go to Bigger. Yep.
And then
Tinker.
Yeah.
And Kraken.
Yeah.
And then, depending on how you want to pronounce it, Tuna.
Tuna.
Or Twana.
Yeah. Knuckle.
Knuckle. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's it. That's
Right.
it. Then you'd figure out the approach when you get there.
Good luck. I'm going to turn... I've noticed this light still flashing. So I had this with the RotateSim aircraft as well. Some aircraft don't like it if you have an axis bound to flaps. And I'm getting that feeling here. So I'm going to turn that off. We'll do flaps with a mouse. Okay, so that light stopped flashing now, which is good. What's next?
All right. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to sort of look over the airplane really
Number pad
quickly.
4 will put you back in the captain's
Oh,
seat.
okay, thanks. And let's see. All right, let's turn the flight directors on. Oh, both of them came on. That's nice. All right, so that's all set. And we'll put the speed up here. Oh,
I have that bound.
oh.
Hang on, no I don't. Yeah,
oh, there we go.
Number pad 7.
Very nice.
4 and 7.
Awesome. So we'll do this. Oh, this is nice. Oh, we'll put 250 in here.
Now, before we take off, which by the way might be the next video, I got to put a caveat in here. Whoops.
Sorry,
what did you do?
that was me.
that
I
normal?
hit the... No, that was me. That was me hitting the right button instead of the left button.
You're in Mac now.
Yes. I don't know why I'm really doing this, but I just wanted to see if it would work.
Okay.
Because we'd usually put that in 0.76 Mach, so we'd have this set as 250 and then 0.76 Mach.
Okay. What I was
pre-on.
going to say is, before we take off, neither of us have flown this aircraft yet, so we haven't configured X-Plane's controls in terms of sensitivity in the axes and all that kind of stuff. That is a question that comes up quite a lot, is how do you make these aircraft feel real in X-Plane? So although it might be, when we take off in a minute, a little bit bouncy, probably more bouncy than sluggish, there is another video coming where I'll talk you through setting up the controls and making this feel like an MD-80. Anyway.
Okay, brilliant. Back to hopefully getting this thing ready to go. Oh, yeah. Actually, for right now, since I'm here, I might as well get these on.
Okay.
So, there we go. Okay, like I said, we're just going to get this ready to fly and then point out things that seem odd. So we turn all the lights on since we're here. Okay, now, I noticed that this thing's called the FMA, Flight Mode Annunciator. It's incredibly important. Probably one of the most important instruments in the flight deck. So it's basically telling you what your flight guidance, how your flight guidance is programmed. And we'll turn that up here. Hopefully you should see those light up. Oh geez, I think I need my FO's help.
Is it not working
It's
again?
that middle knob right there.
That is up. That's
Oh, well that's not
that's
right.
dimming the lights.
Why don't we have the FMA then?
That's other
Okay,
lights.
yep.
That's other lights.
Yep. Those are actually accurate.
Okay.
And we do have you see those two red lights in the FMA? Those
Yep.
are lit up. So why don't we have the flight director switches on? So why don't we have any kind of annunciation? Okay, well let's turn let's mess with the flight guidance and see if we can get things to
Go for it.
turn on. All right. Let's see here. Oh, let's try this. Okay, that doesn't work. See how those red lights
Yeah.
went out?
Yeah.
Those are the legend part of it. But I can't get the FMA to come on. We got the flight directors on. It's not dimmed. The toga switches don't work. Let's arm and altitude. See what that happens. Oh, there we go. We got the altitude armed. Okay, let's try this then.
Lab,
Alright, that works.
boilers. stabilizer.
Alright, well it should be quiet after you pull the power back, or throttle back. Alright, I can't get that to work, so it might not, the auto throttles probably won't work. Interesting. Nope.
The hell was that?
That was the trim. that was the basically the thing that indicates the trim's running, the pitch trim's running.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can't get that to work. It's very odd.
Okay.
I'll try one more time. We've got the altitude to arm. Let's try to do a heading select here. There we go, got that. Okay, now let's get a vertical speed maybe.
So you're just doing this to turn all the lights on?
Right, I'm
Basically
just...
recall almost.
Not really. It's on this thing. It should already be on, but now I'm just trying to get it to where it's detecting that we've programmed something into the flight guidance. Yeah, the recall system. If you're talking about like on the Boeings, is that what you mean? That's usually when you have a dual channel indicating system where it'll only set off a master caution, master warning, a master caution rather. If there's both channels are activated. Okay. So the recall system will show you if there's only one channel activated. Did that make any sense at all?
It did.
All right, let's see if we can. So this, it shouldn't be doing that. That's not right. So basically, it's a pretty bad noise to say that every half a degree that the stabilizer moves, you get that. Yeah. Okay, so that's our autopilot disconnection, which is correct because you're moving the pitch trim. But yeah, if you hold that, you should hear that noise. There it goes. Every half a degree, you'll hear that.
Okay.
So there's that. Okay, so basically, this is the acronym is TARP, T-A-R-P. So you have thrust, arm, roll, and pitch. So this is a roll mode, heading select. And now what I'm going to try and do is activate a pitch mode in there, so I can.
You need to click on vertical speed.
Yeah, we'll try. There you go. Yeah. Usually you don't have to click the actual button. You can actually just move the wheel. It goes exactly. It just goes right in there. So now at least we have this working. It's completely all that was completely wrong. So we'll see if we can get into takeoff mode.
I don't know that they're working at all.
No. Interesting. Very interesting. Yep. And let's try this. Yep, there's no way you can get it into the takeoff mode. Oh well. Well, that's not the end of the world. We can still get it to fly.
Maybe there's no auto throttle on this.
Oh, maybe. Because actually, since this, well, yeah, we should actually get something in the thrust since we've commanded a speed that's higher than the actual speed. So it actually should push the throttles forward right now. Let's try this. Yeah, maybe there isn't. Okay. Let's move the camera here. And get the flaps down. And make sure this is at 11 so we don't get a warning. And this device here is called a takeoff computer.
Right.
Alright,
and it calculates the center of gravity and trim.
Exactly. It basically gives you the trim setting you want based on the center of gravity and flap setting. Okay. So you wheel in the center of gravity and flap setting, and then you read the trim that you want right here. So obviously, and then you basically want to line up the stab position indicator to this green thing.
Which is
and well, there it is. I was looking for something white there, and that is very fast. It doesn't usually move that fast. So now, since it's in this range, we shouldn't get the takeoff warning for stabilizer.
Okay.
So now we got flaps 11, so that looks good. It'd be interesting to see if the auto brake system is modeled. And then we arm it. Well, it's already armed. That's nice. All right. Well, I think apart from the FMAs and the gear door overlight, which is horrendous, we would never take off like that. And this indicator's wrong as well.
Okay.
It should say 1130 on the ground.
Right.
But I don't really know where it's getting that from.
The wind.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, it shouldn't read that at all. It's a computed.
It's a computer value.
Exactly, it's a true airspeed, and a lot of airplanes don't even have that thing. We'll get the true airspeed from the FMS. So that should be ready to go.
Go on then.
Oh, we're gonna fly it? Oh,
we'll
geez.
try.
All right.
I think the runway's a bit short, but we'll try.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, maybe 11 might not work. Oh well, we'll have a go. See what happens. Okay. So these are throttles. Okay. Here we go. All right. Well, it shouldn't do that.
What's up?
Okay. It's saying that the flaps. Oh. The flaps aren't set. All right. Oh, good lord. I'm so sorry. I'm very bad with this camera.
It's alright.
Okay. That is. I think that's 11. Okay, let's go to 15. And then go to 15 on here. Maybe that's it. Okay. Oh, this is going to be aggravating.
What the hell?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that looks like... Okay, that looks like it. Okay, wait. That might be 11. Okay, maybe we'll try that. Okay, that's not really accurate either, because really the setting you have is right on the back part of the flap lever, but maybe that's being pedantic. That should work.
It.
Yep. Because I can see it on the indicator there. Alright, let's have a go.
Right, so it's just a camera issue with X-Wing.
Looks like it.
Maybe.
Alright, let's have a go here.
Good luck.
Yep.
Rudder pedals are all working. By the
way.
Don't forget.
Hopefully. Alright, yeah, let's go on those a little bit. Alright. Oh, I didn't set the speed bugs, but I know when it's going to fly. Oh, I'm going to get really bad at this. Alright.
That picked up speed real fast.
Yes, it did. It's accelerating very, very quickly. Okay, about 140 knots looks like a good rotation speed. Nice. Smooth rotation. We'll try, but not like that. Oh, and then touchdown again. That was horrible. And we are getting positive rates, so gear up. There we go. It really wants to turn left for some reason. And of course, since we don't have guidance, we don't really have any kind of...
Altitude.
Oh, here. It's complaining. Alright, oh, there we go.
What do you want me to set that to?
Oh, yeah, put like
You
5,000 in there, alright.
You want 5,000?
Yeah, why not?
Now, bear in mind we haven't set up the controls.
Absolutely.
How's it feel?
It actually feels really rather nice. Yeah, it feels very nice. We'll take a little power off here. Okay, and then see the flaps. You can take them all the way up actually at this speed. We'll limit the bank.
Now the flaps in the MD-80, you can actually leave those out for a long time.
Yes, you can. They have very high flap limit speeds. Slant 610 flaps 11 is all the way. You could go to 280 in that configuration.
So where are we going?
I have no idea. I'm just getting a feel of the airplane, looking around. Terrible.
That's all right. We'll fly around a bit, and then probably, guys, what we're going to do is going to fly around a little bit. Then we'll cut it, and we'll set up a landing rather than fly all the way out. There will be later videos on this aircraft showing the full flight, but we'll simplify it a bit for this first impressions, which has already become like a 5-part first impressions looking at the timer.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so I put IS-250 in just to give us a target, and then we'll go heading selectors right down here. Oh, that's up and down too.
That's all.
I think that is weird.
Left and right.
Oh, it is left and right. Okay. Oh, yeah, let's go that way. Alright, well, let's try something then. Go to the FMS. I'll tell you what, let's put the autopilot on.
I don't know how.
Actually, don't worry about it. We'll have like, yeah, go to the FMS. And then hit the direct intercept button. And then go to, let's see, where do you want to go? Go back. Go back to your previous page. Yeah, LAL. There you go. And then put it in the, perfect.
Okay.
Done this before. And then she should have to go execute, but.
It didn't light up.
Oh, interesting.
Can the quick execute
that's
just
weird.
in case?
No, it didn't. No, it lit up before.
There we go.
And And then we'll hit the nav button here. And there it goes, nav track. Have you tuned the controls on this?
No.
No, it does seem a little sensitive.
It does?
Yeah. But I think a lot of the damping is from the actual yoke you're using here.
Yeah.
It's a lot smoother than... Oh, there's 5,000. Aggressive level off. Passengers would not like that. Alright, now we'll pull the power off since we don't have auto throttles. And we're supposed to be maintaining 250 knots. Very ham-fisted flying. Obviously, we're not going to go to Lakeland at 5,000, so let's put the autopilot and see how it does. Probably. Okay. Let's see. The switch is engaged. And yes, I think we do actually have a. Well, at least it's doing worse than I did at altitude control. So let's.
It's coming down now.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. Oh, I don't know. Put in something like 20,000 or 21,000.
I lost the mouse. There it is.
Yes. Perfect. Alright. Well, now we hit... Oh, it's in IS already, so technically you should just be able to add power and the airplane should just climb.
There it goes.
There we go. Very nice.
That's all correct?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
and that model pretty... It seems like when it was leveling off, it was having a hard time with the altitude, but that's being pretty picky. That would be a lovely rate of climb to see. It's almost 5,000 feet a minute. That would be so nice.
I'm going to change the camera. I'm going to lean across you and change the camera so viewers can take a look outside real quick. There we are. All our lights on.
Oh, yeah. We're under 10,000 feet.
The sound is wrong. I stood behind an MD-80 taking off in St. Martin. It doesn't sound like that. That's all.
I'm surprised you heard anything for days afterwards.
The video's on my channel, by the way. You can go search for that, St. Martin. You'll find it. That's what an MD-80 sounds like, not this. That's a little bit weird. That's getting closer.
Yeah.
That deep sound. Alright. We're done.
So, yeah, and then through 10,000 feet we can accelerate past 250 knots and do our climb checks, turn the lights off, ding the cabin so that flight attendants can do their service.
Where is the ding button?
Oh, it should be right there.
Actually, I don't think that's working. Yeah, that was one of the ones not simulated.
Oh, that's the best part.
Now, that was one of the things that I thought in reading through the manual. As I said, they've made some concessions to simming and gaming, and some things in this are not simulated, like this panel here, this panel here. It seems odd that they wouldn't simulate that. All it does is when you press it, it goes ka-ding, you know, and lets people know there's something happening. It's not a big deal. Odd. Why are we turning?
I don't know. It seems like it's trying to track that radio.
Oh, I see.
It's interesting because it's in nav mode.
Okay then.
Wow. Yeah. I think you're going to be busy with this one. There's a lot of stuff on this airplane.
Alright, we're going to cut this, and then in the final part, we're just going to land. So I'm going to set it up on an approach into Orlando, and Paul here is going to try and land this puppy, which should be fun, and then we'll give you a little bit of a summary and see what you think. Alright, we're at 18 right in Orlando. Welcome back. Paul is going to fly this. We're 10 miles out. He's just trimming the aircraft. Now, we've already got gear down. We should be at flaps 11. Where's the flap thing?
There. Yep.
Yeah, so we're already at flaps 11. Slowing down. Now, this is an aircraft that naturally will slow down very fast in the real world, right?
There we go. Absolutely, yes. As we talked about before, we have very high flap configuration speeds on this airplane, so we can take flaps at high speed, and that allows us to
Why is it saying
basically
landing?
throw. We have to, because we have the throttles.
Oh.
Actually, we have the gear down, so we shouldn't have that. Let's try it again. There we go. Okay, the selector was down, the gear wasn't down. All right.
All right.
Hey, we found another bug.
You saw it. It's on a video. It wasn't Froogle being a moron. Although I'm sure now someone's typing in issue up. That's fine.
Now at idle with flaps 15, we probably see we wouldn't be able to maintain that kind of speed. It would be slowing down quite a bit more than that. So we'll leave it here for a little bit, but yeah, you wouldn't be able. It would really drag the airplane a lot. You'd have to add a lot of power.
Speed is coming down.
Yeah, it's at like 180 or something.
But it's just not.
It would be. It would be coming way down.
It's slowing down more like an Airbus or a 737 than an MD-80.
Yeah, it's much cleaner than the 80. Now, of course, I am descending too a little bit. Yeah, that's now it's getting a little slow. So we add just a little bit of power. Is there a way you can move the view up a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. There we go. Much better. All right. All right. Now we'll just be a little bit proactive, pull the power back, and then we'll go to flaps 40.
I'll try my best.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
no
it's
guarantees
a little difficult.
here.
Perfect. And we can do that at 195 knots, which is
wow.
incredibly fast. All right. Do you want to try putting the landing lights and everything on?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Oh, there we go. No problem at all. Oh, now I gotta find the runway. Yes. Oh, you know what? Did we say 1.8 right?
One of the 1.8 runways.
Yes,
preferably
we did.
The 1.8. Right again, guys. Even though Paul here is, and I got to stress this, Paul is immensely qualified. We are having a bit of fun. All right, so don't get too stressed out. It is realistic for real airline pilots to have fun in a sim.
As you can see, we're a little high. But hopefully, we'll be able to. That's very easy to fix in an MD-80. And especially with an almost 12,000 foot runway, I think.
Yeah, we're dropping at 15.
Yeah, we're really coming down. Now, actually, fun fact is that on this runway, you usually have to come in a little bit higher on the vertical rate because they have you cross Orlando VOR at 2,500 feet, which is actually above the electronic glide slope. So there's no way I'd be able to fly the airplane like this at idle with flaps 40 and not have the. No, I'm actually flying a glide slope right now. And have the speed there. There's no way it would bleed off a lot faster than that.
50, 40, 30.
Yeah, nothing's happening. You're just hanging.
There we go. Of course, we didn't own the spoilers. That's fine. We're just trying to get a.
There you go.
There we go.
All right. Now, what I didn't tell Paul is obviously this being X-Plane, we have the most phenomenal replay system of any sim.
Oh.
So we're gonna do that before he runs off the edge of the runway. Let's put you about there. All right, let's change seats.
Oh, okay.
Because then we can talk through the final part of this video as well.
All right.
So overall, it's a beautiful plane. Looks amazing, and I mean internally as well. Very, very high quality on the modeling internally and externally. Absolutely incredible. But even though it's not a study sim, it is really, really weak in some areas. Would you agree?
I agree.
You know, in terms of the power up of something as simple as the APU, you know, it's an animation really to have that needle move up. Obviously, they're not simulating how an APU works, and it just goes too far. Certain things like only the left bus is powered. Is that right? The left bus. What would we do with the?
Which part?
When we're doing the startup on there was.
Oh yes. Oh, it seemed like all the left systems were the only systems powered. Like those are the reversion switches,
right.
Like the CADC and the IRS and all that. They were only left side, which is unusual to even do the switch position there.
Even if you're not going to simulate the right side, you could just put an animation in there on a light, you know, to kind of show it works. And then in terms of the flight models, so far from what we're seeing, just on a very short flight that we did, first impressions again, guys, especially on this landing. One of the characteristics of the MD-80, as Paul was saying, is it's not a very clean profile like an Airbus or a 737. It bleeds speed like crazy, and this really wasn't. It really wasn't dropping speed anywhere near like an MD-80 should. Is that correct?
I would say that, yes.
So it's got potential. I like it. I'm not an MD-80 pilot. So as somebody that's not an MD-80 pilot, this kind of satisfies my need, I think, for flying an MD-80 and just messing around. But if you're looking for something PMDG level, ultra-realistic sim, this is probably not it yet. I hope that they do patch it. Where's the view on the runway? There it is. Let's see what that does. I like this camera view and X-Plane. Alitalia flying into Orlando.
In an MD-80.
In an MD-80.
Run out of gas.
Realism for the win. It is a nice model though, and I did like the wing flex. I don't know if you guys noticed that when it came down, those wings were shaking a bit when it touched down, which is nice. I like the lighting effects on it. I like the modeling. The textures up here are amazing. Watch those wings. That looks so natural though.
It does. It really flew nicely, and it just the sort of handling seemed very nice.
Boink. Very cool. So I mean, we didn't trim the control drop or anything, but you think just from the few minutes that we had taking off and then flying and landing, it felt
nice.
normal.
Yeah.
Didn't feel stupid.
No.
Okay.
Well,
that's good.
It felt very nice. The X-Plane experience I've had, the airplanes feel a little twitchy, but this one didn't feel like that.
And we haven't tweaked the controls, so that's a good sign. Anyway, as always, my name is Froogle. I gotta say a huge thank you to my friend Paul for taking time out on his day off to come and fly what he does for a living. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you for having me.
And until next time, I'll see you all very soon.